All right, hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to Bootcamp Blueprint episode 7. If you're watching this for the first time, it's a pretty simple system. I basically just jump online once a week and I just give a different strategy or tip on how to build your bootcamp. It's live in our community Facebook group, and I also repurpose this and I put it on YouTube and our Facebook page as well. What I would like everyone to do, if you're watching this now, just hit like. Okay, if you're watching it live, hit like. Even if you're watching it later, hit like as well. Two reasons behind that. Number one, it allows me to see who's in here and who's watched it. Number two, the more people that like this post, the more other people are going to see it. It's just the way social media works. The more people like it, the more other people like it. Okay, so if you're watching it live, hit like. If you're watching it later, hit like. Feel free to hit like a couple times as well. I want this to be interactive as possible too. So any questions, just comment below. I'll sort of answer them as they go, or I'll answer them at the end. All right. So in saying that, let's get into it. This is a pretty important topic for me, mindset, because I believe it's the most important. Okay, I really believe that any single other strategy will not work unless you have your mindset right. You can learn how to use Facebook ads, you can learn how to use Instagram, you can learn email marketing, you can learn sales calls, you can learn all these fancy tricks. If the mindset isn't right, none of these are going to work. Okay, and this is sort of my specialty. Like, this is what I read and watch day in, day out, just like, mindset of successful people, because they all have the same mindset. Okay, every single successful person has the same mindset, whether they're a successful business person, a successful athlete, someone who's lost a lot of weight, whatever it is, it's the same mindset. And I want to just run you through some basic strategies or some basic philosophies that I use myself behind mindset. Okay, we're going to start broad and then we'll get more specific. I've pretty much put it down to two things. Out of all the research I've done, I've found that unsuccessful people usually spend most of their time coming up with excuses and blaming other people. Successful people they are accountable and responsible for their actions. Okay, so I'm going to use that theme going through here, but just note from that here. Okay, unsuccessful people usually blame someone else or something else and come up with excuses. Successful people are accountable and responsible for their actions. All right, the biggest breakthrough for me was I went to this seminar in America, and the topic was on the word try. And this presenter said, "Hey, got to tell you guys, my most hated word in the English vocab is the word try." And he goes, "I'll give you an example of why I hate this word." He goes, "I'm going to count to 3, and when I count to 3, I want everyone to pick up your pen. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Pick up your pen." And everyone picked up their pen. All right. He's like, "All right, now what I want you to do, don't pick up your pen. I'm going to count to 3. I want you to try and pick up your pen. So you don't have to pick it up. Just try and pick it up. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Try and pick it up. Go." And everyone was like, "Well, do I pick it up?" Some people picked it up. Some didn't. Some sort of did. And he's like, "See what I mean? When I told you to do something, you did something. When I told you to try and do something, you didn't really do it." And he goes, "It's no different in life. And say us as trainers, like, how often do we hear someone say, 'Hey, I'm going to try and eat healthy next week. Hey, I'm going to try and go to the gym every day next week. Hey, I'm going to try and lose weight.'" This guy's philosophy was, hey, don't try and eat healthy every day next week. Eat healthy every day next week. Don't try and go to the gym every day next week. Go to the gym every day next week. Don't try and lose 2 kilos. Lose 2 kilos. And when you put it like that, it just makes so much sense. All right. The word try is pretty much, you're almost giving yourself an excuse to fail. Right. You're almost saying, hey, I sort of half want this, but I don't really want it. So I'm just going to try and do it. So that way, if I fail, I won't be too upset with myself. All right. And the down point to that is you've got no accountability on yourself. Right. You're just sort of, when you say you're going to try and do something, you're not committing to it. So if you don't do it, there's no sort of punishment. There's no accountability on your behalf. All right. So that was a huge breakthrough for me. And that's one word I will never use now. So I will never use the word try. If someone asks me to do something, if I want to do something, I'll either do it or I won't do it. Okay. I'll never say I'll try to do it. And that's something where if you want to piss me off, tell me that you're going to try and do something. Okay. That's sort of my belief. I don't believe that the word try should be there. If you've got a goal in your business, don't try and reach that goal. Reach that goal. Right? If you're running a boot camp and you want to get 20 new clients in the new year, don't try and get 20 new clients. Get 20 new clients. All right? Don't try and do a Facebook Live every week. Do a Facebook Live every week. All right, so that's sort of my first takeaway there. Just comment below and let me know if that makes sense. And that will be my first recommendation. Never use the word try. Just get it out of your vocab. Another couple words that I never use as well: the word can't and the word have. So they're a bit more cliche. We've all probably heard that before in the gym and that, right? Oh, don't say the word can't. If you say the word can't, you got to do 20 burpees or whatever. And look, it's a bit cliche, but it's true. Because there are another two words that just don't exist in my vocabulary. I'll never say that I can't do something, and I'll never say that I have to do something. It's either I won't do it or I want to do it. Okay? And I really believe that in life, there's nothing that we can't do and there's nothing that we have to do. It's just choices that we make. And that can get as... I'll run through an example. So I was out on the weekend, and it was lucky. I was having this discussion with a friend who said that, you know, she didn't have time to exercise, or she didn't have money, or combination of the both. And basically every sort of suggestion I gave, she was pretty much like, oh, you know, I can't. And it was good because it enabled me to sort of knuckle down a bit and show her that she could, but she just didn't want to. And the situation, I was basically giving this spiel, and I'm like, hey, I think that everyone has time to exercise. You know, everyone's got 24 hours in a day. It just depends what we do in that day, and everyone can, you know, put aside time to exercise. And this friend was like, yeah, nah, I don't agree with that, Jono. Like, you know, some people have more things to do in their day than others. And I'm like, oh, not really. There's a million things I want to do in my day, but I just make sure that I prioritize exercise as one of them. She's like, all right, what about this? I've got a friend, and she's got a partner who's got a really high-paying job, so she only has to work part-time. So she's got twice as much time as me. And I'm like, yeah, not really, though. Like, that's her choice to work part-time. Right? She could work full-time and earn more money and do more things or whatever, but she's choosing to work part-time. Hey, you could choose to work part-time as well if you want. She's like, well, no, I couldn't because, you know, how am I going to pay my rent? I live in Sydney. It's expensive. And I was like, all right, cool. But, you know, you live on your own in Sydney. What if you had a roommate, right? Say your roommate paid $200. Maybe you can take a day off work or something. She's like, oh, roommate? I don't want to live with someone else. So see how there, it's not I don't have time to exercise. It's, hey, I could, you know, get an extra income of $200 a week, and I could use that to maybe take a day off work, or I could use that to maybe buy some pre-made healthy meals so I don't have to spend an extra hour cooking or whatever it is. But instead of having that option there, it was, hey, I don't want to live with a roommate. All right. And I was like, all right, fair enough. But hey, you live like in the middle of Sydney, you know, that's super expensive. You don't have to live there. If you were to, you know, go an hour from where you live, I'm sure you could probably get rent for like half the price. And then, you know, same sort of thing. You don't have to, you're not under that financial pump as much. She's like, travel an hour to work each way? No way. I don't want to do that. So then same sort of thing there. See how like it comes from a can't to a want. All right, and it's another sort of thing there that I'll always recommend when you're saying something to yourself. Never use the word can't, never use the word have to. You say I won't do it or I want to do it. And the advantages behind there is two things. If you say you can't do something, you're being that person that's just blaming someone else and coming up with excuses, right? You're taking all the accountability off yourself and just saying I can't do it. I'm not even going to think about it. All right. But if you say I won't do it, one of two things happens. Either you sound like an idiot saying it, where you're like, oh, you say it's like say you said, hey, I'm not gonna get fit and lose weight. I don't want to do it. You might say to yourself, hey, I sound like a bit of an idiot. You know, I do want to do it, so I'm going to flick some things around and do it. Or then you just say, yeah, I don't want to do it. It's not a priority. You don't do it. You move on with your life and you don't stress about it. Okay, so that's my second sort of tip mindset-wise there. Never say you can't do something. Never say you have to do something. Say that you won't do it or you want to do it. And, you know, same sort of thing. One or two things will happen where either you sound like an idiot and then you change your mind and you want to do it, or you realize that you don't really want to do it and you stop stressing about it and you move on to something else. All right, so that's the second sort of point there. Just comment below and let me know if that makes sense, if you're with me on that point there. All right. Now they're sort of more mindset based. All right. They're things you do in your everyday life to you know, just sort of little words you use and mindset and that sort of thing. Now, if we get to a bit more specificity, let's get to some of the specific principles that successful people use. All right. Just going to read Holly here. Love that use of language. Yeah, 100%. And that's all it is, language both with yourself and with other people. And it helps when you're you're talking to clients as well, because you can pick up the language that they use and you can sort of use that to guide you and what you're going to say and that sort of thing. All right. Now let's go to successful people. Now the biggest thing that successful people, actually, I'll put it in a quote that might make more sense. So the reason successful people are successful, there's one thing that they do different to unsuccessful people. All right. And this is the quote: successful people do the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. Okay. It's that simple. And the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do, same as everyone doesn't want to do. If there's something you don't want to do, no one wants to do it. All right? People get ahead and are successful because they do the things those other people don't want to do. And the easiest way is with weight loss, all right, or fitness. The people that are successful in fitness, chances are they wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Chances are they push through when it gets uncomfortable. All right, chances are they skip things to go to the gym instead. They skip parties or they skip after work drinks. You know, chances are they go to a restaurant and they have a smaller dessert, or they have a healthier meal, or they don't have that extra glass of alcohol. All right, they're successful in that because they do the things that your average person doesn't want to do. And it's no different in business as well. All right, if you want to get successful in business, in your personal training or your boot camp, you got to do the things that the average trainer won't do. Okay, and it's really that simple, you know, and that's what I sort of base my life on. If there's something that I know that 99% of people won't do, I want to do that, right? And it may be a course, it may be a training, it may be some business coaching, it may be some traveling, it may be going to a conference, whatever it is, where the average person is going to say, hey, I don't want to do that. That's too much effort for me, or that's going out of my budget, or I don't have time to do it. If it's something like that that the average person won't do, I jump on that because that's going to put me one ahead, right? And I really believe if you look at something that you're going through in your life that you're successful at, chances are you're successful at it because you've done the things that your average person wouldn't do. Okay? If you can put that through to your business or your personal training, that's how you're going to get successful there. All right? Okay, now let's go on another quote for successful people. All right, this quote here, what is it? Okay, so successful people focus on what they want to achieve and how to achieve it. Okay, unsuccessful people focus on what they don't want to achieve and who to blame for it. Okay, the weight loss one is an easy one for that again. Okay, unsuccessful people, oh, hey, I can't lose weight, I've just got a sweet tooth, or hey, I can't lose weight, I'm Greek and my family cooks all these meals for me and I can't say no. Or, hey, look, I can't lose weight because my husband's super unhealthy and, he forces me to do this. Or I can't lose weight because I'm so busy with the kids and this and that, all right? It's just so easy to come up with an excuse and blame someone else. But as soon as you do that, as soon as you start blaming someone else, you're gone, okay? The situation you're in is no one's fault but your own. Okay, you got to take accountability and responsibility for that. And once you do that, it's like a different ball game. Okay, so let's use an example of, because the common ones we get in fitness are people don't have time or they don't have money. Okay, time is probably the easiest one. Let's say you're someone and you're like, hey, I'd love to exercise, but I don't have time. Okay, it's bullshit and they're just blaming the time, right? Or they're blaming. And if you said to them, okay, what do you mean you don't have time? Like, everyone's got 24 hours in a day. They said, well, hey, I've got to do this work and I've got to get my husband from here or my wife from here or my kids from here or this from that. Whatever excuses they come up with, they're just blaming someone else but themselves. Okay? And as long as they're blaming someone else but themselves, they're not going to get anywhere. Okay? Because they're just going to keep on blaming that person and they're not going to take responsibility and accountability and nothing's going to change. All right. If you flip the switch and that person was like, well, hey, I'm not in the shape I want to be in. And the reason I'm not is because I haven't exercised, because I haven't put the time into it. And it's no one's fault but my own, because I've chosen all these things and I've put all these things ahead of my exercise, which is no one's fault but my own. So what I'm going to do is reprioritize and blah, 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 blah. Okay. But to do that, you need to take responsibility and accountability and ownership and know that you own it. As long as you're blaming someone else, you're not going to get anywhere, right? And then it's the same sort of thing with money as well. Someone's like, hey, look, I'd love to, get a personal trainer, but I don't have the money, okay? That's bullshit too. I mean, I'm not going to say it's always bullshit, but 99% of the time it's just that finance thing. And they might say, well, hey, look, I don't have money because I got to pay the rent, and I got to buy the groceries, and I got to pay insurance, and I've got this car, and I've got this, and I got a holiday, and I got this, and I got that. Once again, all those things, they're just blaming everyone else. Whereas someone that was accountable and responsible might be like, hey, I really need a personal trainer. I got to find $100 in my week to pay him, or I got to find $50 a week to join a boot camp. What can I do? Okay, well, hey, I can cut this out. 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 That's going to get me $50. It's on. Let's go. All right. So see how those two mindsets, everything comes from there. All right. So it's the same sort of thing with your clients. If they're going through something and they want to lose weight, you got to get them responsible and accountable. As soon as they start blaming someone else or coming up with excuses, it's gone. You can't get results. And it's the same thing with yourself and your business. Okay, the situation you're in now is directly dependent on what you've done. Okay, so if let's say you're not in the position you want to be in, have a think of a couple of reasons why. And if those reasons are blaming someone else or something else, if they're blaming your family or your partner or the local gym or the council or potential clients or Facebook or your business coach, or if you're blaming someone else but yourself, you're gone, okay? If the reasons are yourself and you're like, well, hey, I probably haven't invested in much in marketing. I haven't invested in much in my education. I haven't invested in much in sales skills, in marketing skills, in internet marketing skills. I haven't put the work in. I haven't spoken to my clients enough. If you can come up with the reasons and they're more from yourself, then you're going to be successful. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. Any questions, comment them below. I'll do a bit of a recap there. Just a couple of the words that I recommend you never use. Never use the word try. Either do something or don't do it. All right. Never use the words I can't do something. Just say I won't do something. And that one, and same as well, like don't never say that you have to do something. Say that you want to do something. It might be a roundabout sort of thing, because this is the argument I always get when people say that. If they're like, Jono, I can't come to training, I have to work. Well, no, you don't have to work. You're choosing to work, but you're choosing to work because you're not saying that you have to work or you want to work, but you want to work because you want that money, because you need to do this or this. Okay, it's more a want thing to do those things. All right. So the quotes as well. So successful people do the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. So if you want to be successful, just do the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. Successful people focus on the goal and how to get there. Unsuccessful people focus on what's not going right and who to blame. And they all just come under that umbrella where people that are successful, they take accountability, ownership, and responsibility for everything in their life. People that are unsuccessful, they come up with excuses and they blame someone or something else. All right. Any questions, comment them below. That's today's video. If you liked it, just hit like so they know that you liked it. We cover all this sort of stuff in our bootcamp courses anyway. I'll put the link below. We repurpose this on YouTube. I'll also put the link below if you want to subscribe. All right. Have a good day.